Hi everyone! Okay, so due to popular demand, everyone has been asking for this video, which is me reacting to my suicide attempt. The context behind this video is that it's one of the first couple videos I've ever posted on this channel, and it has 1 million views on it, and it got so many views within the first weeks that I uploaded it. So I'm going to be reacting to this video. It's been 2 years since my suicide attempt, a little bit over 2 years. 2 years since I've been out of school, and I haven't watched this in almost those 2 years. So I'm gonna watch this. I already know that tears might come out of my eyes, and I already know that some of you guys have already watched this video. But, yeah, let's start watching this video, and of course, I've got to put these glasses on because I actually wear these glasses in the video, so.
Because I feel like I need to, explain the whole story, so this is basically just me.
First of all, the first thing I noticed is that my accent is a lot more American. I talk a lot more quietly. I guess I was still very, very camera shy. So I'm wearing the shirt that I wore in this video, and at the time it was my favorite shirt. It might still be my favorite shirt, but it's a pretty cute shirt. It's like a low-cut shirt. Yeah, anyways, this video is 22 minutes long, so it's a pretty long video, and the introduction is just me kind of making a disclaimer, explaining that, I made this video because I wanted to show my friends, because everyone has been asking me on Ask FM, so that's why I'm making this video.
It was a really big blur, it's still a blur to me.
So, at the beginning, I talk about, my general mental health at the time. So when I started seeing a psychiatrist, when I was given prescription medication, the time that I was going through was very, very stressful. It's weird because actually in the video that you guys requested me to do this video on, which was why I got kicked out of high school, which kind of talks about my suicide attempt, but through a different perspective, I guess. The story or how it happened is still solid in my head. I still know it from the beginning to the end, even though I talk about how much of a blur it is. So I talk about how am I going to face my friends when I go back to school, and I just want to put a disclaimer, and also because some people might get this confused. The girl's backstabbing me, although it hurt me so much, it wasn't the reason for my suicide attempt. It was just kind of the last draw. So much shit was going down in my life that I was looking for a sign. Show me a sign to kill myself. I need to die. I didn't want to stay here anymore. I was I need a sign. And I was well, if my friends can't even listen to me, can't even support me, or even hear me out, then there is no point in thinking that anyone else can support me if my own friends can't even, you know?
I slept for 23 hours. So Monday came around, and I was just sleeping. The lights were off. Curtains were closed. It was just really depressing. It's so literally what depression is, and I'm
It's 2 o'clock.
It's 2 o'clock.
It's 2 o'clock.
I'm diagnosed with neurotic depression, but it's literally what depression is.
Talk a little bit about depression and stuff. I noticed that the way I talk about it is that I'm diagnosed with neurotic depression. I can clearly see that talking about it was uncomfortable because it was such a huge issue in my life, and I can see that every time I talk about depression or mental illness, I kind of doze off.
Wednesday rolls around, and I wake up in the morning, and I wake up in the morning, and it was the first time I was awake, and I call my friend Zach at the time, and I call him and just started bawling out crying, and I didn't know what to do, and then I was I can't do this anymore. Nobody gave a shit about me. I'm sorry. Nobody gave a shit about me. I was spending, my time at home with the lights off. My computer's right next to me, and no one called me, and no one messaged me, and just no one gave a shit about me. And then I was well, if I kill myself, then that doesn't, no one would care. No one would even notice, so it wouldn't matter. I was so convinced that I would die. I was so convinced that I was going to be dead. It wasn't gonna be an attempt to me. To me, I thought I was gonna die. So I started thinking, what do you do when you know that it's gonna be your last moments on Earth? So I started watching, Rudy Francisco, which is, poetry, memories. I started just thinking, what I would do,
So I'll talk a little bit about my last thoughts because I was so sure that I was gonna die. It's weird because when I think about my last thoughts, I can remember what those thoughts were because when you have so much time by yourself and you think that your life's going to end, it doesn't matter what your last words are. And it didn't matter what I needed to learn because I didn't need to watch something to inspire me to keep living. I didn't need to watch something to inspire me to keep creating. Like I said, I needed a sign to follow through and kill myself. Like, this was my mindset at the time. I was so depressed. I knew that something could inspire me to keep living, but I needed to find something to inspire me to die because I was tired of living. So I talked a little bit about this rooftop. To get to this rooftop, you had to slide across the building in like 4 different directions and then climb into a window to get into this rooftop area. So nobody really knew about it. And many times where I was kicked out of home or like when I got into fights with my parents, I would stay there. Like, I would just bring a blanket and I would stay there for 2 days, 2 nights at a time, or even for running away when I wanted to just get away from everything, you know?
Colin was the one who found my penny board outside because I left it downstairs. And that's how he knew I was, like, around. So that, like, when my dad told me that in the hospital, I started crying. But anyways, they took me to the hospital. My mom was driving. My stepmom was driving. And,
in this bit, I talk about how, because I posted this online, the suicide attempt online, you know, the police were trying to find me, the school was trying to find me, they sent out my friends to try to find me, my family was trying to find me. It's kind of very blurry to me because it was such a traumatic experience that I just didn't want to think about having to be such a burden to all these people who went out looking for me or being such an inconvenience. And so, like, it does hurt me to talk about it because I felt like such an inconvenience. But yeah, I just remember like being on the floor up on the building, and I remember seeing someone next to me. My dad suddenly came in, and suddenly there were 3 people in front of me, sitting. And I think I was on the floor, and I think I was lying on the floor. I think my dad was just, like, holding my hand and, like, eventually grabbed me, like, picked me up, and I went down the stairs and took me to the car. And I don't remember the car ride, but I remember seeing my mom, like, my beautiful mom. My best friend at the time, her dad, the one who found the penny board, that I remember him strapping me up in the car, like, putting my own seatbelt on. And I'm just seeing all these faces around me, and I don't understand what's going on because I was on so many drugs, and my mind was already clouded from depression that I did not believe that these people cared about me. I did not believe that these people gave a shit about me, so it was really weird seeing that the people cared about me. So I couldn't really, like, understand that I was still alive. Like, I thought I was dead because suddenly all these people who I thought didn't care about me, and clearly they did, but because I was so consumed and engulfed in my own depression that I could not understand why they were caring for me, so I thought I was dead. And I think during the whole car ride, I just closed my eyes. I didn't mention it in the video, but I think I might have mentioned it in the description. Oh no, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in a comment. But some people were asking me and saying that you can't overdose on DXM, and they didn't get that my original plan to kill myself was, this might be a little bit too personal, and I'm kind of glad I didn't mention it in this video because I didn't want to give other people ideas. My original plan was to get really high on DXM, go to 4th Plateau, and then choosing to jump off that building.
I went to the hospital, and this bit is, like, completely blurry to me. I just remember, like, lots of lights and, like, nurses coming around me and them putting stuff in my hands.
I remember, like, the clothes I was wearing. I remember the shoes I was wearing. I remember that I wasn't wearing any socks, and I remember how cold the room was. The room was freezing cold.
And, like, I didn't know who it was, but because he has hairy arms, I knew it was my dad. And he's just telling me, and I just look at him and I start crying, like, I'm so sorry, like, I thought he was gonna be mad. And
all I was thinking about was, like, I failed killing myself, and am I going to regret this?
Home, I got 103 messages, even from people I didn't know. I got 25 friend requests, and just so many people posted on my wall, like, praying for you, Johanna. Like, it actually showed me that, like, some people actually give a shit. Pretty much, and I just got support from a lot of people, and ever since that time, I've never had, like, one bad day.
Sorry for breaking down a little bit, just because this was such a life-changing moment for me. Not only because it's the reason why my channel has so many supporters, or it's the reason why I've made some of the closest friends I have, or it's the reason why I started self-caring about myself and promoting that to other people as well. Like, there's 7,000 comments on this video that are telling me wonderful things. Some of them are bad, but when I started seeing the support I was getting, at first I could not believe that people thought of me in such a nice way. I started to get so much of it that I started to believe it, and I started to know it, and then I started to promote it, and then I started to help other people love themselves because other people helped me love myself. My leg just fell asleep. Back. Ah, it just fell asleep. Oh my goodness. Ah, it hurts where I rested down. Okay. My dad, motivated the fuck out of me the second I got out of hospital, making me feel like there is something worth living for. It's amazing to see where I am now. First of all, I was eating unhealthy foods. I was doing a lot of drugs. I was abusing some of my prescription medication. Just in a really bad place in general. And let's compare that to now. I'm vegetarian. I stretch every night. I do Pilates probably 3 times a week. I have an online store where I make things I love. This YouTube channel that has inspired thousands of people, and I get thousands of comments from people saying that I've saved their life. I have people who are close to me message me and say, you know what, I've never been able to open up about my mental illness, but because you post videos and you're so open about it, I feel like I can talk to you about it. And now I'm able to connect to anybody because I know that everybody has the same issues on the inside. And I have a stable relationship with my family. I contact my family all the time. I've been living on my own for the past almost 2 years, and I've been good. I've been fine. I've never had to skip a meal. My life is just so incredibly amazing right now that watching this video, it was just 2 years ago, I see half of myself. I can't even relate it to how I am now. My mental illnesses, what I'm diagnosed with, will never ever define me. I will never ever have to talk about it in a video to justify the way I feel. I can just say to you guys, I have been depressed. I've gone through depression. I know what it feels like, but it is not who I am. I haven't been on prescription medications in a year and a half. And getting rid of prescription medication and psychiatrists actually helped me. And I don't want to throw that advice out there because I don't think it'll help everyone. But it helped me knowing that this illness that's put on a piece of paper with my name next to it is never going to tell someone how I am. It hurts me and it kills me so much knowing that one of you guys behind the screen might be suicidal at the moment, and I can't help because I'm an empath, so when I think about other people in pain, I start crying. But when I think about you guys behind the laptop thinking of taking your life, I wouldn't want anyone, not even my enemies, to feel that way, to feel like they have to take their lives, because there is no option. Me hitting rock bottom was like a wake-up call. And it reminded me to help heal myself. And you don't necessarily have to hit rock bottom to improve your life dramatically. So please, if you are feeling suicidal, reach out to one of us. Reach out to me. Reach out in the comment section below. And because I know how strong our family is, how supportive this Sunflower family is, please leave a comment reaching out to us, and I bet you one of us, at least one of us, will reply. And to the Sunflower family, if you see one of those comments, please, please, please show your support. You don't need to write a long list of giving advice. Even just a love heart and say, keep on fighting, it's worth it. That can help someone. That could help someone. So please do that. But all I can say to you guys is that your place here is valuable, and you are worth being here. That you have a place in this planet. You have a place here. Nobody should tell you that you don't belong here. So make sure that you are as healthy, as happy as you can be. Then the world will start unraveling, unfolding itself in front of you. Alright, love you guys so much. Please stay strong. Please stay lucid. Please keep fighting for another day. for another week. Start planning. Start thinking about the future. I've been filming for 45 minutes right now, and I'm late. So, love you guys so much.